Today I'm going to give you 5 things to think about if you're considering purchasing a Gibson ES-335 or an Eastman T486. The Gibson ES-335 as well as the Eastman T486 are both very popular semi-hollow body guitar designs. While they offer great tonal flexibility, craftsmanship, and overall versatility, they have a lot of things that are in common between them, but there are also some notable differences. So if you're in the market for one of these guitars, today I'm going to give you 5 key points to consider and think about before you make that final buying decision. Number 1 is brand and price. So the Gibson brand has been around for many years in the United States. They've actually become legendary. Everybody knows the Gibson brand, as well as the design for the ES-335. Now this guitar has a lot of fans out there. It's been produced for many years, and it is a guitar that is completely made in the United States. The Eastman, on the other hand, is a relatively new brand on the market. It hasn't been around as long as Gibson has, and its guitars are made overseas in Beijing. Now they've gained a reputation for excellent quality and craftsmanship as well, but the difference between the big name brand and the new overseas brand is price. At the time this video was made, you can buy an Eastman T486 for roughly $1,999 Canadian, while the Gibson counterpart now sells for $4,699 Canadian. Quite a difference in terms of what you're paying for in terms of brand recognition. Number 2, construction and design. Over the years, the Gibson ES-335 hasn't really changed much. The guitar is being made basically the same way it was always made. It comes with a laminated top, which is made of maple, poplar, and maple sandwiched together. It has a beautiful mahogany neck, a rosewood fingerboard, and a solid block that basically runs all the way through the body and helps with feedback and sustain. So the overall construction hasn't changed all that much. It's a very nicely designed guitar, produces a beautiful balanced sound with plenty of sustain and resonance. The Eastman has a similar look to it and a similar design in that it does use a laminated top as well, but the top is made out of maple, flame maple as we can see here, and the neck is also made of maple as opposed to mahogany. The fretboard is made of ebony, and it does have a center block as well, which basically helps with feedback and sustain. So both guitars are made very similarly. They both have a double cutaway design, and they also both have a 24 3/4 scale length. Number 3 is tone, the main reason we purchase an instrument in the first place, and the ES-335 has a beautiful, rich, full-bodied tone with a lot of versatility. It's able to do jazz, blues, rock, and even some heavier styles of music as well. So you have a lot of flexibility in a guitar that has been designed many years ago. The Eastman aims to capture those tones as well and does an excellent job recreating those vintage tones, delivering warm, articulate, semi-hollow body tones with plenty of sustain. Number 4, pickups and electronics. Of course, we wouldn't be able to get the tones that we desire out of these guitars if it were not for the pickups and electronics that are built into each one of these guitars. Now, the Gibson usually comes preloaded with Gibson pickups. You either have a set of T-top pickups, 57 classics, or burst bucker pickups, and you can get a nice range of tones, including some really nice PAF inspired tones out of these stock pickups. On the other hand, the Eastman guitars have chosen to go with Seymour Duncan pickups for a slightly different tonal flavor. Now, just so you know, for this video and comparison purposes, we fitted both guitars with 57 classics so that we can have a pretty clear side-by-side comparison. Number 5, playability and, more importantly, feel. Now, both these guitars are quite widely praised for their playability and feel. They are slightly different from one another, not extremely different, but they do have their own nuances. The Eastman definitely has a slightly thinner neck than the Gibson does, but it's very comfortable and easy to play. The Gibson ES-335 has a slightly thicker and rounder shape to it, not by much, but you can definitely feel the difference between the two. But both have great playability, they feel fantastic, and are both very comfortable and pleasing in the hand. You might say that the Eastman offers a slightly faster playing neck than the Gibson ES-335, but not by much. It's very subtle. So considering both are really well made and a pleasure to play, really it boils down to what your preference is in a neck style. Now, perhaps for you, it's more important to prioritize the Gibson name. You're going with a classic guitar that is world-renowned and is known pretty much everywhere. With its classic design and wide range of tonal possibilities, it could be the right choice for you. However, if you're looking for a more affordable, vintage-inspired guitar that offers a great price point as well as some premium features, including a beautiful flame maple top, ebony fretboard, as well as the split parallelogram inlays that would generally cost you quite a bit more in the Gibson brand, then this might just be the guitar that you've been waiting for. Now, making a buying decision like this between these two really fantastic guitars is not an easy decision. I can vouch for that. Some of you might decide to go with the well-known big name brand Gibson because you know that if you buy a Gibson, typically your investment is safe. The guitars tend to hold their resale value, and some might even say that they increase in value over time, as we've seen in the short term. Others might consider helping out a growing brand. The Eastman brand has proved themselves by creating a great vintage inspired guitar which looks fantastic, plays fantastic, and has beautiful premium features at a very bank account friendly price point. So you really can't lose if you decide to pick up one of these guitars. Honestly, I couldn't decide, so I had to ultimately buy both. But I hope that this video at least shed some light on the 5 main points you should be considering when buying one of these two great guitars. Ultimately, I think whichever guitar you choose will be the right one. They're both fantastic guitars. Hey, if you like what we're doing here on Addicted to Gear and you appreciate my opinion and these reviews, please consider subscribing because there'll be more coming up.